everyone, my name is Tasha. In today's video I'm going to be talking about Lady Midnight by Cassandra Clare. Wow, look at this glare. So today's video is going to be a review slash book talk. The first part of this video is going to be spoiler free in case you haven't read or finished this book, and the second part will be full of spoilers and my thoughts and my feelings on this book. If you're not aware what Lady Midnight is, first of all, where have you been? Lady Midnight is the first book in a new Shadowhunters series by Cassandra Clare. There are the Mortal Instruments and the prequel series, The Infernal Devices, and the Dark Artifices, and Lady Midnight / the Dark Artifices takes place 5 years after the events of City of Heavenly Fire, which is book 6 in the Mortal Instruments. And Lady Midnight follows Emma Carstairs and her Parvati, Julian Blackthorn. If you have not read the Mortal Instruments, this will be spoilery for the ending of the Mortal Instruments, obviously. So in City of Heavenly Fire, Emma Carstairs' parents and the Blackthorn parents the father, they die in City of Heavenly Fire in the Dark War, and Emma has been trying to find out what happened to her parents because she doesn't believe that Sebastian Morgenstern killed them. She thinks they were killed by someone else for a different reason, and she's trying to figure out who it was. So this follows her trying to find this out with the help of her Parvati and lots of other people. My short, spoiler-free review is I loved this book. It was so nice to finally get lost in another Cassandra Clare book again. As you can see here, I tabbed so many quotes and scenes and funny bits and just I tabbed half the book. I really loved this book. I did have a few issues which I will discuss in the spoilery bit, but apart from those bits, I really loved this book. I loved the characters. I thought they were really complex and interesting. I was mind blown several times in this book. And once again, Cassie also features diverse characters in her book. There's a Mexican Shadowhunter, and there are LGBTQ characters. Also, mental health wise, she features a few characters in that department. That was the wrong way to say it, but you know what I mean. She makes sure that her cast of characters is quite diverse, and that's what I like about her books. So I'm pretty sure that was it for the spoiler-free bit. So if you have not read this book yet, I recommend you leave the video so you won't be spoiled for anything. So thanks for watching up until now. And I'm gonna get into some spoilers now, and I'm also gonna put this book down because it is huge and it is heavy. Disclaimer, this spoiler bit is gonna be a huge mess because my notes, I have 5 pages of notes, like this size of notebook, 5 pages full of notes. I'm just gonna kind of go through them. I'm gonna start off by talking about the characters. First off, our main character, Emma Carstairs. I've been excited to read from her point of view. I thought she was a really interesting character. She was really sarcastic, kind of like Jace, but I feel like she was sarcastic and snarky in a different way, so it didn't feel like a repeat of sarcastic character. I really enjoyed reading from her point of views. I thought she was really funny and interesting and unique. I don't know, I don't have a lot to say about her. I have a lot more to say about Julian. Julian was my favorite character. I loved Julian so much. He makes my heart hurt, and I just want to give him a big long hug. Julian Blackthorn. He, at the age of 12 years old, he had to start taking care of his 4 siblings. 4? Yes, 4 siblings. One of them a 2-year-old. And oh my god. He had so many responsibilities, and he always made sure that his siblings came first. Didn't even care about himself that much. He made sure his siblings were doing alright and had everything they needed, and oh my god. And the fact that he had to be a parent first, he couldn't be just a brother to his siblings, and that is so sad because when Mark started to turn up and Julian thought, I have this whole paragraph about Mark and Julian. When Mark turned up and Julian thought, finally, Mark is back and here to take some of that burden that lies on Julian. I mean, Julian loves his siblings, but it is a burden to take care of them. And the fact that Mark had such a hard time adjusting back to the Shadowhunter world, or just human world, whatever, and Julian realized, just him realizing that Mark either wouldn't be there at all to help take care of his siblings, or wouldn't be able to, and realizing that, oh my god, it must have been so hard for Julian to realize that, because that was what he was hoping for such a long time when he wrote to the Clave, to the Clave? I think he wrote to the Clave for them to help him get Mark back from the Fae, from Fairy. Also, the fact that Julian has been running the Institute since the age of 12. Oh my god, that was one of the minor things that I was suspecting throughout the entire book, so when he revealed to Emma and Mark that he's been running the Institute, it wasn't such a big surprise because I had a feeling that was something that was happening, but the fact that it was confirmed and that there was even more responsibilities and a bigger burden on Julian, oh my god, cannot mention it enough times. Julian Blackthorn breaks my heart. I love him so much. He is definitely my favorite character in this book. I just found another note about Mark and Julian. Oh my god, just thinking about it, I want to start crying again because it was so beautiful. When Mark tells Julian that he's gonna stay at the Institute and help Julian, and there was this one line, sentence, whatever, about Julian letting Mark take some of the weight, take a bit of the weight, something like that. And that was so beautiful. It's like, oh my god, Julian, you deserve this. You deserve everything and more. That made me so happy. On top of everything that Julian already has to worry about, he's also, of course, in love with his Parvati, Emma Carstairs. I shipped them from the first page. Even before that, I've shipped them ever since I found out about them. It was so beautiful and yet painful to read about these two, to know that they love each other in that kind of way, a romantic way, but that they couldn't be together. Oh my god, I ship them. I ship them a lot. Which now brings me to a bit of a controversial thing, the beach scene. By now, I've watched a few reviews and read a few reviews on Goodreads, and I know there are different opinions on this. Some people loved that Julian and Emma had sex on the beach. That sounds so weird. Unfortunately, I did not like it at all. I've had multiple rants about this to different people, to Nabila and Nock, who I actually buddy read this book with. I didn't mention this earlier on, but I buddy read this with Nock and Nabila. I've already ranted to those two about this scene, and I already had a rant with Faye, some other people too. I did not like them having sex on the beach. Now, I don't mind sex in books. I don't mind teenagers. I mean, they're 17, 18. I don't mind if they have sex. All of that aside, to me, this is personal. You might have seen that different, and that's okay. Everyone can have a different opinion. To me, the sex at this point of the book or the series, it just felt out of place to me. And thinking about this, it might have been the way that I see Julian and Emma up until then, how I saw them as characters. I don't know. I did not like that they had sex at that part of the book. To me, again, it just felt out of place. I know Emma had like a near-death experience. Emma almost died, and they were super happy that Emma did survive, and they kissed, and I was really happy about the kiss, and then suddenly things escalated, and I was like, wait, what's happening? And it happened so fast I had to reread it because I wasn't sure if they were having sex. After that, like the morning after, they were talking about protection and having this weird talk. It just left me really unsatisfied, and the fact that Julian lied about his feelings. I get why he lied about it, but the way, I don't know, it felt wrong to me, and I actually had to pause from reading after that because I was really annoyed, and annoyance grew into anger. Just the way, I read this one review. I might look it up and link it down below because I agreed with a lot of things that were mentioned in the review. I really liked it. Just the way that Emma and Julian acted after that sex scene. I can't even explain it right because it just felt weird and wrong to me, like out of place. That's all I'm gonna say about that scene. We can discuss it over DMs or whatever if you want to. Let's talk about The Guardian. I had multiple predictions about who the Guardian is, but I did not see Malcolm be the Guardian at all. I did not expect it at all. I trusted him. We've come across so many warlocks that we could trust, Magnus and Tessa and Katarina. So in a way, it does make sense that we eventually come across a warlock we can't trust, but that doesn't mean that I was expecting it. I was not expecting Malcolm Fade to be the Guardian and to do all these killings and kill Emma's parents, and the fact that Emma's parents died basically for no reason was so frustrating, but it made it feel a lot more real because there's not a reason for everything. They were just at the wrong place at the wrong time. But it was so sad. I felt so sorry for Emma. She was looking for him and for answers for so long, and for them to be so basic must have been heartbreaking. So yeah, Malcolm Fade being the Guardian. I was speechless. I did not see it coming. I actually, for the longest time, suspected Diana to be the Guardian, but at the same time, I felt like no, that would be too predictable. There's still something up with her. And I do have a suspicion. You might have seen this on Cassie's Twitter. She mentioned that there is a transgender character who we met in Lady Midnight, but don't find out that they're transgender. So at the moment, I think that Diana might be the transgender character. Tell me what you think about that. I would love to know.